2023 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. What do you need to know about Toyota's small, affordable hybrid SUV? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. At long last, Toyota has finally announced the launch of the all-new 2023 Corolla Cross Hybrid for the North American market. Now, for anyone living outside of North America, this is not going to be major news because the Corolla Cross Hybrid has already been available around the rest of the world. But for North American consumers, this is pretty big because hybrid-powered SUVs are incredibly popular across the market. And up until now, there really haven't been any options for anybody who wants a small and affordably priced hybrid crossover SUV. Well, that's about to change with the 2023 Corolla Cross Hybrid. Up until now, anybody who wanted to buy a Corolla Cross in North America had to go with a gas-powered 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with a CVT transmission and a choice between either front-wheel or all-wheel drive. Now, while this is a fairly decent engine with good fuel economy, it doesn't exactly make a lot of power, and it can also be quite noisy as well. Both of those issues should be solved with the Corolla Cross Hybrid, which uses a 4-cylinder engine matched with a pair of electric motors and a hybrid battery pack along with a standard all-wheel drive system. Because the Corolla Cross Hybrid has an electric motor that powers the rear axle, it will come standard with all-wheel drive on all versions, unlike the gas-powered Corolla Cross, which gives you a choice between either front-wheel or all-wheel drive. Now, details on the hybrid system are fairly scarce because Toyota didn't disclose a lot of information in the official press release, but it is pretty safe to say that it will be a very similar hybrid system to the one that's found around the rest of the world and the same one that's found in the regular Corolla sedan. This means that the Corolla Cross Hybrid is likely going to be using a 1.8-liter 4-cylinder engine as opposed to the larger displacement 2.5-liter engine that's found underneath the hood of the RAV4 Hybrid. What Toyota has told us, however, is the power and fuel economy that you can expect to see with the Corolla Cross Hybrid. The hybrid system is going to produce 194 horsepower, which is more than you get with the regular gas-powered Corolla Cross, which only gives you 169. Now, while that's not as much power as you get from the RAV4 Hybrid, which produces 219 horsepower, that should still be more than enough for the Corolla Cross, which is a smaller and lighter SUV than the RAV4. Toyota has also quoted a 0 to 60 time or 0 to 100 kilometers per hour time of around 8 seconds, which is more than adequate for a small SUV like this. But more importantly, Toyota has shared the official fuel economy rating of the Corolla Cross Hybrid, which is going to achieve around 37 miles per gallon or 6.4 liters per 100 kilometers. Now, to be perfectly honest, I was a little bit surprised by the low fuel economy rating because that is in fact lower than what you can get with the RAV4 Hybrid, which is rated for around 40 miles per gallon or 6 liters per 100 kilometers. It does seem a little bit unusual that the smaller and lighter Corolla Cross Hybrid doesn't get as good fuel economy as the larger and heavier RAV4 Hybrid, but it probably has something to do with the fact that it does have a smaller 1.8-liter 4-cylinder engine, so it probably does have to work a little bit harder than the 2.5-liter engine in the RAV4. In any case, 37 miles per gallon or 6.4 liters per 100 kilometers is pretty impressive for a small all-wheel drive SUV. And because the Corolla Cross Hybrid gives you more horsepower than the regular gas model, you're not only going to get better fuel economy, but much better performance too. Now, in addition to the hybrid system, the other thing that's new for the hybrid model is the addition of the S, SE, and XSE trim levels on top of the regular L, LE, and XLE that were already available with the Corolla Cross. Much like the SC and XSE version of the RAV4 Hybrid, you are going to get a much sportier look with these trim levels, with available two-tone paint and larger 18-inch wheels. Personally, I'm a big fan of the sportier look of the SC and the XSE versions, and if I were to buy one of these SUVs, that's definitely the one that I would go for. The Corolla Cross also received some light updates to the interior as well, the most notable change being the updated infotainment system. Now, it's a huge relief to hear that Toyota is finally updating the touchscreen infotainment systems on their small SUVs, including both the Corolla Cross and the RAV4 for the 2023 model year. Although the outgoing touchscreen infotainment system, which Toyota was using, was okay in terms of usability, it was very dated looking in terms of its graphics. The brand new multimedia infotainment system borrowed from the brand new Toyota Tundra should be a huge upgrade for the Corolla Cross and the RAV4. Although I have to admit, looking at the pictures of this infotainment system, one thing I'm not too crazy about is the fact that Toyota did eliminate all of the regular buttons and knobs aside from the control knob for volume. This means that all of the features and functions are going to be accessed using the touchscreen controls, which is not always the best for usability and safety, but we'll have to wait and see what that's like in practice. Aside from the infotainment system, Toyota is also going to be making some updates to their Toyota Safety Sense active safety technology. Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 is going to include updated sensors and radars for much better detection and capability for all of the active safety features. So with all the updates out of the way, let's get into the important questions that everybody wants to know, which is the availability and the pricing. Now in terms of availability, the Corolla Cross Hybrid is going to go on sale in North America towards the end of 2022, with the exact sale date not exactly known at the time of this recording. The exact pricing for the Corolla Cross Hybrid has not been released either, although if I had to make a pretty safe guess, I would estimate that you could expect to pay around $2,000 more when compared to the equivalent gas-powered Corolla Cross. Toyota has been making a very strong effort to minimize the price difference between the regular gas models and the hybrid models in their entire lineup. And if you look at the RAV4 as a good example of that, you can see that the price difference between the gas-powered RAV4 and the hybrid RAV4 is only around $1,800 to $2,000 depending on the trim level. I would expect to see a very similar price difference between the gas-powered all-wheel drive Corolla Cross and the Corolla Cross Hybrid, which means that the hybrid should start at just over $25,000 US or just over 30,000 Canadian, but only time will tell for sure. In any case, there's no question that the Corolla Cross Hybrid is going to be a very high demand SUV when it goes on sale later this year. With gas prices going through the roof, more and more consumers are interested in buying hybrid vehicles. And considering that the Corolla Cross Hybrid is an SUV, which is the most popular type of vehicle that you can buy, and a small affordable one on top of that, there's no question that it's going to be incredibly popular. And on top of that, it's going to be a Toyota hybrid, which means that it should be extremely reliable as well, which is one of the main reasons why Toyota hybrids are so popular across the market. Now, even though this is great news, it wasn't exactly a huge surprise. But what was a huge surprise is that Toyota is also going to be making some updates to the regular Corolla sedan for 2023. One of the biggest changes for 2023 is that the Corolla Sedan Hybrid is now going to be available with all-wheel drive. This is pretty exciting news because up until now, the Corolla Sedan was never available with all-wheel drive. You could only get it with front-wheel drive, which is perfectly fine for an affordable car, but there's no question that a lot of consumers would definitely love to have that all-wheel drive option. On top of adding the Corolla Hybrid all-wheel drive to the lineup, you're also going to be able to get the hybrid with an SE and an XSE package for a much sportier look, much like the one that you get on the gas-powered Corolla sedan. The Corolla sedan is also going to get the same updated multimedia touchscreen infotainment system that's going to be added to the Corolla Cross and the RAV4 too. All of these things are major changes for the Corolla and are no doubt going to help it stay ahead of its competition like the Honda Civic and the Mazda 3. The fact that you're going to be able to get the Corolla with all-wheel drive and a hybrid system is a huge bonus because there really isn't anything else like that on the North American market. And if you don't need the interior space of the Corolla Cross Hybrid, then there's no reason not to skip it and just go for the regular Corolla Sedan Hybrid with all-wheel drive, because there's no question that it's also going to be cheaper to buy too. And not only is it likely going to be cheaper to buy, but it's also going to be a lot more fuel efficient too. The Corolla Hybrid is already rated for around 50 miles per gallon or 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers, which is likely not going to change much when you add all-wheel drive. Either way, Toyota has given us some amazing updates for their 2023 model year lineup, and I can't wait to get behind the wheel and test drive all of these latest cars to tell you what I think. In the meantime, let me know what you think of the Corolla Cross Hybrid and the Corolla Hybrid all-wheel drive. Would you consider buying one of these new hybrid powered cars? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also check out some of my other car videos by taking a look at these links over here. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to check out carhelpcanada.com. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time.